Alright folks, welcome to this exciting video where you once again join us in the beautiful landscape of Scotland. And for today's adventure, I'm joined by Highlander 87 out here, and for today's adventure we've come to document this ancient standing stone here on the land, kind of near Newtyle in the lands of Scotland here. This is pretty much Perthshire, I'm sure, eh? We're back in Perthshire for today's adventure, and it's just kind of a random one. Different bits of history on this channel that we've never documented. I have seen Jag Betty at this standing stone before, so shout out Jag Betty. And yeah, today we've come to document it and see what is here on the land. And I do believe there's carvings in this standing stone. Yeah, look, there's lines and stuff all around. Circles. Often the Picts had different symbols that they used to write on their stones. It's almost like in the 1800s it's been maintained and updated, because this is actually something they used to do with standing stones in the 1800s. That's how I think it's been maintained. Yeah, I think it's originally been here, but they've maintained it, and because that's what they did in the 1800s with historical locations and sites. And sometimes they literally did drill into the original rare standing stone with those metal bars. And I've seen that all over the place, from here out even into the islands like Isla and stuff. They've done this, and some of them they used to lift the stone back up if it was split and literally join it together. It was quite impressive, and it's cool to see this stone. I've never actually been here on a video, so it's cool to see the surroundings, and you can see how it's positioned here on a prominent piece of land. Like so many of these standing stones, I believe, like we documented a standing stone a few weeks ago in the video, and I think it's even more ancient. Before the times of the carving stones, the Picts were known for carving stones and putting up standing stones with mad pictures. But another thing they may have done is carve existing standing stones that were already on the land. And that's a theory that I didn't hear very often from anybody. They were maybe carving existing standing stones that was there. But this one's different to the recent ones we've seen, because it's quite narrow and thin. It's like a sliver of rock, and you can see the modern industrial scene with the electrical cables overhead. Think how many hundreds of years this has been standing on the land, and think how the land around it must have changed. The scene out over this valley nowadays, shaped from agriculture.
2,000 years at least.
Yeah, it could be 2,000 years old, folks. And probably back then there could have even been more forests and stuff over here, and maybe this was actually a mound where there was no trees, and from a distance you could see it standing prominent up above the forest. And that's cool to imagine that as well, because the agriculture wouldn't have been such a massive thing, such a large scale thing back then. What a scene. We can actually see the Drumderg wind farm way in the distance on the far horizon, and that actually featured in last week's videos when we were at an ancient hilltop farm croft. And it's crazy that week on week we can kind of see places we've been on, other adventures, and we're actually heading just now to another mad, what was going to be a Cold War bunker. So tune in to the next video for that as well, folks. That's what we're all about on this channel, recording historical places like this, seeing how they stand on the land and the condition they're in, because every year the weather can take its toll. Historical details on them can go missing, and little videos just keep the history alive. Sometimes these were actually like a spiral, and then they used to go down and there was like a secondary spiral, but I'm not sure if that's what this is here, or it's maybe been a different picture. But if you consider the thousands of years since this was here, that's why it's so weathered, and the carvings is actually hard to see. Today it's freezing cold and I'm actually shivering. Now and again the camera shakes, like, and I do apologise for that in today's footage. And then look, there's a little tree here in the compound. It's quite a cool spot in the land up here. Newtyle's just a couple of miles down that way. Cooper Angus is probably over that way somewhere. And then Dundee's over the far side of these hills. And this is quite a peaceful little country lane here, typical of Scotland and the Scottish countryside. And it is incredible always how much history from different time periods is hidden all over in Scotland. It shows how long these lands have been thriving, thousands of years. And it's cool on this channel to document history from all those time periods. Not only from thousands of years ago, but from the more modern times like World War II. And it just gives you a real picture of humanity over the years, how it's been, how the land has been over generations. It's absolutely incredible. But today's video has been a short one, but it's been a bit of fun. You know how it is on this channel, we're just out and about. If you're ever out for a drive up behind Newtyle, there's actually a bench and stuff. You could come here in the summer, have a wee picnic and look out over this view, and it's just a magic scene. But anyway, it's been a short one, but I'm going to end it here. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye from me, goodbye from Highlander 87, and we'll catch you very soon with the next adventure when we go to a cool historical location.